Hi everybody, happy Wednesday. I'm Jen and I am back. I do a video every single week. I am so passionate about helping women thrive through plant-based eating and intentional living. And today I thought I'm gonna do a video on my tips for meal planning because this is a question that I get a lot. And I know that there's a bunch of new followers out there, so I hope you guys find these really helpful, some tips that you can actually utilize and make your life a little easier. I've been meal planning for years now, ever since I got married actually, something that I did right from the get-go, and it's going on 7 years now. So one thing that I do is I only actually plan for 4 meals a week. And I know that there are 7 days in a week, so I'm leaving out 3 days there, but this is why I do that. I actually think that making a different recipe every single night of the week is just unnecessary and often may lead to food waste. And honestly, who wants to cook something brand new every single week? I mean, I love to cook, but some nights I just need a night off, right? So I like, this is what I do then, okay? So I have 4 recipes every week, and when I actually do cook a recipe, I always make a double batch. Don't waste time cooking only one batch of food. That's my theology anyway. I don't know if it's theology, but I always make a double batch. That way, on the nights that I don't feel like cooking, I have leftovers already and cooked in the fridge. It just makes life so much easier. And you can scramble it up as any way you want to. You can mix up the recipes so you're not eating the same thing twice in a row, but it really opens things up and makes your week a little easier. All right, so when I'm trying to find the recipes that I want, right now I'm using Pinterest, but I kind of rotate through different apps. For a while I was using Yumbly, which is a really cool app actually. You can choose whatever diet you're on, you can choose a specific kind of food, and it narrows it down for you. Right now I'm using Pinterest and I'm really, really loving it. I will search for plant-based meals or for vegan recipes because those are the ones that I want to see, those are the ones I want to cook. So instead of just browsing through a bunch of recipes, that makes it so much easier. And then I choose 4 that I think look really yummy, and I write down all the ingredients that I will need to be able to make that meal. And once I have all those all those ingredients written down, then I add on to the list all the basic things that I need every single week. Like, I'll actually list a bunch off. These are, give or take a little bit, but this is pretty much what it looks like every week when it comes to basic stuff that I always have on my grocery list. Things like berries and fruit, snacks, milk, eggs, honey, peanut butter, bread, oats, yogurt, avocados, and creamer. So probably a little bit more than that, some weeks a little bit less, but those are all the basic stuff, and a lot of these are actually what I will end up using for breakfast. So I don't necessarily meal plan for breakfast, but I try to make sure that I always have stuff on hand that so I can make breakfast. This is what we rotate through a lot of the time, either smoothies, or my kids love plain yogurt with a little bit of granola and fresh berries. They love that. Pancakes are our favorite, banana pancakes. We love that. Eggs, avocado toast. So I kind of rotate through those throughout the week, but that lets me have those ingredients on hand so I can make whatever I want for breakfast. All right, and then out of the 4 recipes that I choose for the week, I like to kind of go through them and choose one out that I'm like, okay, this one's gonna it's gonna store pretty well. It's gonna be great for leftovers, and then I will make it Monday night, and I'll make a double batch of it so that I have lunches throughout the entire week. This has made my life so much easier. I highly recommend it. I know some people can't do leftovers, and I feel so sorry for you because they are my jam. They get me so excited. I will cook a big batch And then I have these little glass containers with lids that are the perfect size for a lunch, and I will fill them up with the perfect amount of food for a lunch and store them in the fridge so that when my week is here and I'm hungry and it's lunchtime, I can just grab something out of the fridge because it's already made. Nobody likes to be super hungry and go to the fridge and not find anything that's already made. I mean, that's just not fun. So this has made my life so much easier, and it also ensures that when I am hungry, I have something clean and healthy right there in front of me to eat. When you don't have a good option, you can often end up choosing something that has less nutritional value or some kind of junk food, and so I think it actually helps you eat cleaner throughout the week when you prep for your lunches. So that is a really big one for me. Lunches prepped in the fridge make me so happy. And then when I'm choosing recipes also, this is a tip that will help you save money on your grocery bill throughout the week, is I like to choose recipes that share common ingredients. If you choose 4 different recipes that all have completely different ingredients, you're gonna have a higher bill than if you choose recipes. Obviously, you don't want the recipes to look exactly the same. That would make for a really boring week. But let's say 2 of the recipes call for canned tomatoes. Boom. 2 of the recipes call for cauliflower, or whatever it is. But choose recipes that share some common ingredients. I don't know what it is about it, but it's cheaper to buy more of one ingredient than to buy all kinds of different separate ingredients. Hopefully that makes sense. So find recipes that share common ingredients. That's going to help lower your cost at the end of the day. And then I also like to, when I'm choosing my recipes out, I like to choose like a balance between complex recipes and really simple recipes. Because throughout the week, you know how weeks go, you're going to have a day where you do need to cook something, but your day has been nuts and you just don't feel like cooking something super time consuming. And so choosing all 4 recipes, like more complex, more complicated to make, is gonna, I feel like that would be a good idea. So I like to balance it out. I choose 2 that are a little bit more involved, that take a little bit more work, and then I choose 2 that are pretty simple. So depending on how I feel throughout the week, I can have an option of both. Some weeks, honestly, even though I only plan for 4 meals, some weeks I honestly only cook 3. And it happens pretty often. And if we already have food in the fridge, one of our rules is if we already have food in the fridge, I try not to cook something else. We try to use up what's already in the fridge. I hate wasting food, and whether or not we have food, whether or not we use all 4 recipes. Sorry, I'm a little distracted. I think I heard my daughter, but I don't think it was her after all. Sorry. So my brain was a little distracted. So whether or not we use all 4 recipes throughout a week often depends on whether we had a date night that week and we didn't end up cooking, or whether or not, honestly, this happens quite a bit, where one night we're just like, screw it, and we just make dippy eggs on toast. Because why not? We all love dippy eggs, and it doesn't take much work, and so we often will do that. If I get to the end of the week and I didn't make one of my recipes, I will either roll it into the next week with the 4 recipes for the next week, or I will kind of take inventory of the ingredients that I still have in the fridge, and I will choose a different recipe based on the ingredients that I have left. That way I'm not wasting any food, and yeah, huge fan of no waste. All right, so those were pretty much my tips. I probably didn't cover everything, but I welcome your questions. For those of you who don't meal plan, I highly recommend you give it a try because it saves you so much time. There's less trips to the grocery store because you already know everything you're gonna need. You're not guessing throughout the week, what am I gonna make, what am I gonna make, and then you're craving something else, and then you need to run to the store again, and you end up spending more money. It's less food waste, because this is what happens to me. Like, occasionally I've had a week where, let's say we were gonna be gone for a couple days that week, I'm like, I'll just wing it on the 3 days that we're gonna be at home this week, and I'll just go to the grocery store and I'll just choose stuff that looks good. But what ends up happening is I don't end up using a lot of it, and at least for me, it creates more waste than if I plan it out. I think it helps you eat healthier because it's planned out. You already have some good clean meals, recipes, and it saves you money. So all in all, it's just a really fantastic way. If you want to see what it looks like day to day to be meal planning, or week to week to be meal planning, you can follow me on Instagram because I share my meal plan, all the recipes in my meal plan for every single week on there, and I give you access to them. And I think that would be helpful because I give even more tips over on Instagram. Hopefully this was of value to you and you feel inspired to give it a go or tweak some things here and there. I will be back next week with another video. I love connecting with all of you. Like and share this video, and I will see you next week.